What's going on with y'all? This is Eric. We're working with Tongue Tie Magazine, and today we got Jude Barclay.
What's going on, man?
What's going on? Hey, it's nice to see you again, bro.
It's good to see you, bro.
For sure, bro. Man, we're at Smoke Fest 2023. And
still holy, though.
Yeah, we're still holy. You feel what I'm saying? We got to. I had to find him and be like, bro, please. Give me 10 minutes of your time, and I got
you. Of course.
You feel what I'm saying?
You can have 20.
For sure. But, bro, how you been, bro? What's going on?
Good, bro. Making big moves, man. Music's good. I always am just trying to be a better songwriter. That's always the number one key, is writing good music.
For sure.
The best marketing tool is a really good song. So if you have a good song, then you can have great marketing. So I've just been trying to make good music. I bought a house like 3 days ago.
That's crazy. That's so cool.
I'm 21. It feels weird. I feel weird. Dude, I own a dishwasher now. Like, that's super weird. I was just thinking about that. It's like I have like a sink and like, you know what I mean? Like my name's on it. Like I have a backyard. That's really weird. So, but God's been good, bro. So I've just been running with it, bro. Yeah.
For sure, bro. Well, dude, if for those of you that you don't know, he is one of the best artists in the CHA space. If you want to call it the CHA
thank
space,
you.
The dude is really like, I admire the work ethic. I admire just the standard of excellence that he puts on with every song that he puts.
Thank you, bro.
The versatility, everything that he's doing.
Appreciate it.
Who was gonna ask if you could take us through like your creative process, like where you draw inspiration from.
Yeah.
Because like I know in a lot of your songs, from like the older stuff to like the older stuff, 2020, 2019, to like the newer stuff you're dropping out now. You're really big on like relationships, emotional growth. You feel what I'm saying? Nostalgia, things of that nature. You feel what I'm saying? So like you could take us through like what do you like? What inspires you to make how do you like come up with songs? What inspires you to make music for you?
Okay, so I grew up listening to hip hop. I grew up listening to like Christian hip hop. And then when I started to drive, and like when I got like turned 16, I know it sounds crazy, but like that's when I actually like discovered music. And I could actually listen to, like, cause I had like alone time for the first time in my life. I come from like a really close-knit family, so I would have time in the car and I'd be able to listen to different genres of music. And my dad I grew up on like rock music, and so like I didn't have time to ever I was always like playing some different genres that I wanted to listen to in the car. Yeah. And if I got to play hip hop or like pop or whatever, it was always turned down a little bit or whatever. But so that was like my inspiration growing up. And then what I listen to now is just like really chill pop music most of the time. But I still like love hip hop and I love different stuff. I don't think I don't really be making hip hop music.
You really I would say your stuff is like versatile. It's a wide variety. Like it's really you don't stay in one lane.
I think my number one thing I try to do, I love pop music, so I really try to stick to that. That's what I have the most fun making. I think even though I grew up listening to hip hop, I don't always I don't really have any songs where I'd be like rapping. I just have fun. Like that's what it is to me. Music is just fun. That music is a international tool of bringing people together. And that's what I think is cool. It doesn't matter. Like you can touch everyone from any space, every part of the world, bro.
For sure.
And that's what I think is cool about music. So, but also it just brings people together to have fun. And that's what my thing is. It's Bigger Dreams Club. It's just like inspiring people to live life with childlike joy and approach life with optimism. So I mean, yeah, man, that's it. That's me.
Bro. I was gonna ask about the content matter in your songs. Like I was saying, you talk a lot about whether it's emotional growth, where it's you got the song High School, where if you don't know High School, that's a great song. You
appreciate it. Yeah.
But it's you talk about a lot of your stuff is throwing back or thinking or man, what could you have done better? How are you dealing about this? What are you thinking in hindsight? Is that something that is that just how you connect with yourself? Is that
I think
because not everyone's writing not exclusively but a lot of content on that. You feel me?
Yeah, I think it's important to talk about relationships. I think a lot of people we're growing up in church, it was. I'm grateful it wasn't like that for my church, and that's why I feel like I am so comfortable and I'm grateful for where I'm come from. But a lot of people hear the word sex and freak out, bro. It's just well, I mean, that's a gift from God. It's a gift I'm excited to one day partake in, stuff like that. Where I just say that to be like, in relationships are a gift from God. And so I think when we should be cautious about not wanting to talk about relationships. And I've had relationships that haven't been good and have been great. So I think that focusing on having good relationships is always the key of my music, but also it's like I've had bad ones and I talk about it because a lot of people have bad relationships and a lot of people have good relationships. The key is to grow those relationships and make them positive, or to end relationships you shouldn't be having. So I talk a lot about that stuff. I think it's important to connect with people that have the same issues, because a lot of people feel like they're on their own. A lot of people feel like they don't know what they're doing in life, and I know it happened for me when I was like growing up, but like when I like related with people that I'm like, whoa, like they get it, they understand it, it gave me strength to like be able to figure it out and know that I can get through it. You know what I mean?
That's sick, bro. That's
sick.
Bro. And like, if you didn't know, was it 2021 or 2022 you dropped a song a week for a year?
Yeah.
Was that last year?
Yeah, so 2021,
he dropped a song a week.
I dropped 55 songs in 1 year, bro. Yeah, not all those songs are still up. I had to do a little quality control over my Spotify, but yeah, bro, it was a writing challenge. Like I started with saying, like, songwriting is the most important part, and people overlook that. And I, just as far as just like from every aspect of the songs, bro, I'm talking about lyrics, melodies, production, mixes, like everything, bro. It's all about growth and always about being better. So that's my whole thing is, like, I made a great song today. I'm excited about the song I'm making, but I'm going to make a better song tomorrow. Like, that's the goal. Like, I'm always growing.
The work ethic is crazy.
Appreciate it, yeah. Appreciate it.
I was going to ask, like, you know, that is not, like, a norm.
Yeah.
People to be dropping a song a week for like that long of a time.
Yeah.
It's like, usually people drop singles to anticipate an album, stuff like that. And you wasn't really.
Oh, listen, my people over there. My fault.
You wasn't really operating like that. So it's like, how do you think like being a musician, like modern day, like now has changed with like the advent of like TikTok, Reels, stuff like that?
Oh, it's completely different. It's completely different, bro. Like, it's cool. I got to spend. I don't know if you know the name Nick D. I got to spend a week with Nick about a month ago. And he said he just said, dude, I make music with I don't drop a song no matter how good it is unless I have content ideas for it.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, that hit me. I'm like, dang, like, and he played some insane songs. And I was just like, he's like, yeah, but I don't know how to post about it, so I'm not going to do it. And like, I'm trying to get to that mindset of like, holy cow, like content is king, but also it's just like, dude, music's a lot different. Even when I started making beats, bro, when I was like 14, it's crazy how much music has changed. Like, almost the biggest compliment that you can give to a song now is, yo, that'll do really well on TikTok. Like, it's so weird. Like, when people say that, I'm like, I got one. Let's go. Yeah.
For sure, bro.
Yeah.
Man, I was gonna ask, like, not so much like what advice do you have to like new artists, but it's like, can you talk about like how important it is to be authentically you in like what you're doing? Because it's like a lot of artists, like especially now, it's like they trying to copy what's hot, what's trending or whatever. And it's like, in my head, I'm like, the artists I connect to the most are the ones who are doing what they're called to do, regardless of if it's popular in that time period.
I would say comparison is the killer of joy. So with that means like people compare themselves to other people and think that they have to be like them, when we should all realize that God has called. I don't know why I said God like that. I said like DJ Khaled. God did. No, I sounded like that. Yeah. I don't know why I said it like that. It was an accident. But God has called all of us to something completely unique.
Yeah.
And that's dope. And so I've struggled with that because, dude, all of my best friends, I'm talking like Graham, Cooper Hill, like, you know, even people like Nick D, even people like, I don't know, John Michael Howell, people like that have been influencing my life. Bro, they are insanely talented. And like, they're better than me in almost every single way. And I say that only to say like I've had to, even in myself, to be honest, I've had to be like, you know what? It's not about what they're doing. They're doing what they're called to do. I just have to stay called, you know, stay focused on what God's calling me to do. Waking up every day, saying, God, what do you want of me? And just being a absolute tool of the Holy Spirit. in every way, bro. Yeah.
Being an absolute tool of Holy Spirit. That's the first time I ever heard that. That's really it. TBH.
Yeah, man.
I was gonna say I got 2 more for you. Talk about you just dropped the song Laundry. Was it this week?
Yeah. Song about laundry, man. Yeah, I was laughing with Bats. Yeah, bro. I was laughing with Bats because people want us to like collab and different stuff, and but we have such different, not only topics but like just genres. But he played this record, and it was all about gentrification and different stuff, and it was a sick record. But then I played my song about laundry, and I was just like, man, we might be talking about different things, bro. So I was like, man, maybe one day, but it just made us laugh because we were just like, man, we're definitely called different things, different lanes. But yeah, bro. But yeah, bro. Song about laundry. It's actually not just about laundry for fun. It's about doing things in a relationship that you might not want to do, like even eating at Applebee's when, you want to eat at B-Dubs, but she want to eat at Applebee's, and just different stuff like that. Just like the little things, or doing laundry, or like you don't want to do the laundry, but, or, like washing the dish. There's just stuff like little things like that, but if you did it, or like communicating, or like stuff like that where it's tough, but you do it to have a healthy relationship. And so it's kind of talking about that. That's why in the song, I say, I'm not talking about new flames where love feels like falling, or laughing when your laugh wasn't annoying. And because I said, what did I say? I said, I forgot my own lyrics. I can't do that tomorrow. That's going to be rough. I said, because now house chores are flirty, so I do what I can. So what you know about laundry? So just basically being like trying to put it on that way, bro.
You gotta understand that that may seem mundane or whatever, but it's like God does not have to use overcomplicated things to speak to His people.
Nah, bro, 100%. Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, he's writing something about laundry. It's like, nah.
Yeah.
God can give you the craziest revelation.
Yeah.
Doing your laundry.
I loved how John said it. They were talking about in this. They were talking earlier, and John said, "We don't sit down and be like, hey, I'm gonna make the sickest Christian tune." Like, no, bro. We don't sit down like that. But we sit down and say, we're not talking about my life, but guess who's in my life? Jesus. Every single day. So, like, you're gonna see that by what I talk about and how I live, and every asset of my life, you're gonna see Jesus. But I mean, also at the same time, you're going to see my life. And my life has ups, my life has downs. And I'm going to talk about all of it, because if I hide that, I'm not being genuine, I'm not being authentic. And at the beginning of this interview, you said, I relate to people who are authentic. So that's what it's about. And that helps more people than anything else. Way more than anything else. It's just being authentic. And when you're being authentic and you're being honest and you're being true, God's going to use that as a bigger tool than anything else. So that's it.
If you like this in real life.
I'm trying, man.
Dog, last question. If you could put your own music on to a new fan, someone who ain't never heard you before,
okay,
what are the 3 songs you recommend?
The 3 songs. I'm going to give him my favorite.
Yeah.
First one is Forget About You. It's my favorite song. My other one, this one didn't perform the best, but it's probably like my favorite. It's I Hope You Hate Me.
That's a good one.
I love that song, bro. And then, if you like more like, Kid Leroy, your type vibes, bro, I have a whole mixtape called Freshman Year mixtape. But I also, like, with High School Never Really Ends, stuff like that. But I was like, I think I was like 18, and I was just now, bro, I'd only been singing for like a year. So, like, I was the kid that, like, when I started singing, like, my whole family was like, started laughing. And, bro, like, my brother, like, kept it real, kept it honest, was just playing me all the time, like a good younger brother should, But I broke out of that, and because I just kept knowing. So, but yeah, bro, and I think you hear that in my discography from the bottom now to the top, bro. Yeah, for sure.
For sure, bro.
Bro, thank you so much for creating a space for artists to talk. Thank you for this interview, bro. Is this wrapping up, right?
Okay, cool. We're about done. Hey,
sick, bro.
We got Jude here for Tongue Tied Magazine. Thank you so much.
Tongue Tied. Let's go.
Tongue Tied Magazine.
All right, Tongue Tied on 3. 1, 2, 3. Tongue Tied. Let's go.
For sure,
Appreciate it.